Okay, so I'm doing this based on Mischievous's tag. Um, are you addicted? And the first question is, are you addicted to social communities, social networks? And I would say definitely yes. Really, the only thing I'm active on anymore is Facebook because I don't really like Facebook, but that's what all my friends use. And I think that the people I know are using it less and less because they want to maintain their privacy and um, they're worried about identity theft or they're worried about coworkers, knowing too much about their personal lives. Um, I used to do MySpace and I thought that was a lot better um, for just interacting online. You could and it's like really clunky now and no one uses it, so I don't really use it anymore, but you could put up links to your favorite songs, whatever you were listening to at the moment. You could share photos, you could blog, but no one really uses that anymore. I do WordPress, never really got into Twitter. I used to do Yahoo groups, I used to do LiveJournal, I used to do bulletin boards way, way back in the day. But I don't know, with the smartphones and the tablets and everything, maybe social networking is on its way out. It's just like gotten to be really commercialized, and maybe there are people that still host private bulletin boards where there's some good, intellectual interaction. I used to do ICQ, IRC, Yahoo, Chat, AIM, Skype. Just, I guess, even some of my friends have given up high-speed internet because it costs like $50 or $60 a month, and it's just, I don't know. So it might be on its way out in my life because there's just not really anyone to interact with on it anymore. It's not really worth my time. Would you rather give up TV or the internet? I already gave up TV about 3 years ago. Watching TV annoys me greatly. I still watch NFL games on the internet when I'm not at work or have time. And the commercials, even on the football games, or I will watch a few shows on Hulu. I'm doing Glee, Bones, and Pan Am. On Hulu, the commercials just annoy me. On the internet, it's a little bit easier if you're actually like sitting in front of your computer. You can like mute the commercials. Obviously, that's not going to work if you're not really watching the show and you're just, have it on and you're around doing other stuff like cleaning or whatever. But I can't handle the commercials. I just think it's a lot of really negative energy, and it's just really annoying. And the content of most TV programming is just, it's like designed to sell you a product or brainwash you in a certain way, and I can't deal with it. So TV is worthless in my opinion. Do I listen to the radio? Which stations? I don't really listen to the radio anymore. Where I live, pretty much there's like a classic rock station and NPR, and those are the only two things that come in on the radio that would even be worth listening to whatsoever at all. There's just too many commercials. The radio that I do have is my Zenith stereo cabinet from 1965. I don't know what happened with the antenna, or if we just really lost a lot of radio stations where I live. Last Christmas, we played it like Christmas Eve to listen to Christmas music and just kind of like went through the channels like every time there was a commercial. So listen to some oldies Christmas tunes and like classical like Nutcracker Suite and Messiah and whatever top 40 Christmas tunes. And then when I went, I don't know, maybe like a month ago, I went and flipped through. I only got 3 stations in my radio. So part of it, I think, is that it's an way older radio, and the antenna just doesn't get really good signal in the house. I can get more stations in my car, and then my boyfriend has one of those little like portable radio things that's also a CD player and has an auxiliary hookup. So I listen to Late Night Beat Generation on WMSE out of Milwaukee every Saturday night, and Stephen K does a radio show from 7 to 10 Pacific time, where I am, but it's 9 to midnight Central time, and so that's like electro, techno, house, just any electronic dance music kind of genre. Sometimes I'll listen to Soma FM, like that's my boyfriend's favorite station, is the indie pop rocks, and then I like the Ill Street Lounge sometimes. I'll listen to Pandora. I've made my own Pandora stations, and I'll try and include a link to my favorite Pandora stations. That's kind of annoying too because of the commercials, and then they seem to, like, I've tried to make different genre stations on there, and I have like a classic rock station kind of, and it keeps, especially when I was first starting the station, it kept trying to put on this like popular like country rock, top 40 country songs, and that's not what that station's about. So it's kind of annoying because part of it's trying to, it'll put up the most commercially popular songs on your station, and you're like, I'm sick of this. I want to get into some new music, some deep cuts. So it's kind of hard to, however, their algorithms are set up to create a station that's really good. But if you work at it, and then if you pay for it, I think it's only $36 a year for a subscription, and then you don't have commercials anymore. So for that price, I think it's really great. I would probably look into Sirius or XM again because I think they have some really cool stations, but you have to buy the receiver, and they don't always work indoors. And then I think they're like $15 a month, but you have to pay quarterly. So you have to pay like $45 all at once. But if you live in a remote area and do a lot of driving, I would think that Sirius XM, they're not separate anymore, would be the way to go. I know a few people that got in on satellite radio when it was first coming out and have lifetime subscriptions. So yay for them, they're set. Do I read newspapers or magazines? Not really. I will sometimes read professional journals. I picked up a copy of Sunset. Magazines that I like to flip through if they're available, but they're not really worth buying a subscription to me. I guess they're like National Geographic, Time. I kind of, like, my parents had a subscription to that, so when I would go over to their house, I would look at that. I like Sunset. I like Bon Appetit. I like Xavier. This is an older one because we don't have a subscription anymore. I used to like Harper's Bazaar, was my favorite fashion magazine, and no, if I'm at the salon, I like to look at Vogue, maybe Glamour, I don't know. Newspaper, I'll just normally look it up online. My favorite newspapers, I guess, are the Reading Record Searchlight, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Sacramento Bee, Austin Statesman, Washington Post, New York Times, LA Times. Those are probably the papers that I look at online the most frequently. Do you place great importance on your cell phone? I'm actually considering getting rid of my cell phone when my contract is up and just getting a track phone for like car emergencies. Um, Honestly, almost no one ever calls me on my cell phone. Like my boyfriend might call me before I leave work, like, can you pick up beer on the way home or something? Milk, I don't know. We don't really drink milk. Um, or, you know, my mom and my sister and maybe a couple of my friends call me on very, very rare occasion. Um, I wish that some of my my friends that do call me maybe would like get on Skype, because it would just be better to, you know, have a video chat for like 15 minutes than to have them call you or you call them when they're in the middle of doing something. But um, yeah, I really don't use my cell phone the way I used to. I have a smartphone. I have a Samsung Android phone. I don't know which model it is, Intrigue or something. It's kind of, it's like the Galaxy series. It's not the Galaxy series, but it's like it. So it's an Android phone, G3 phone. Um, some of the Android apps that I use frequently are the Egg Timer, and I use the Facebook app, but like the original factory install one, because I found the other one kept making my phone system crash, and I didn't like that it would turn on the GPS like every time I tried to log on to Facebook on my phone. The GPS on my phone just doesn't really work that well where I live, and it slows everything up. So if I lived in an area that had like outstanding G3 coverage, I think it would be, I like to use Yelp. When I travel, you just like say, find the nearest coffee shop or find the nearest Mexican restaurant. And then, excuse me, I think Yelp is really good for finding good restaurants when you're traveling. Um, but again, I have issues with the GPS working and Yelp working, and I thought I was somewhere 200 miles away from where I was from last time I was in Chico, so it was just. Um, what other apps? I don't know. Pandora, that crashes a lot. I would use it, but it doesn't work. I've been using the Kindle app, but I'm getting a Nook soon, so I think that the Nook is probably going to replace what I use my phone for, and I think I'm getting rid of it because I pay $80 a month for it, and I don't find that I'm getting my money's worth out of it, really. Um, it's a cool idea, and maybe if you have an iPhone and everything works great, but Verizon, like AT&T is evil, and I don't think they have good customer service or good coverage. Um, and Verizon is like really, really expensive, and they don't even have unlimited data plans anymore. So then it's pointless, really. I'd rather use my computer. Do you have a notebook or tablet PC? Um, I don't know if a laptop counts as a notebook. It's portable, but it's not like a notebook laptop, because the notebook ones are thinner and smaller. So I have two laptops. I have a MacBook and I have a Sony Vaio. And I'm getting Nook, which is not a tablet, but it does stuff like an iPod Touch would, or my smartphone. What are your favorite books? I very, like, there's only three books I can think of that I ever read twice, especially, maybe there's some nonfiction books I use as reference and reread parts of, but I read Anne of Green Gables 3 times, Lord of the Rings twice, and The Hobbit like twice. So if frequency counts for your favorite books, those would be my favorite books. But I don't think they're really my favorite books. For books that left the biggest impression on me or had the biggest emotional impact, I would say Stephen King's The Stand had a pretty big impact. Miriam Zimmer Bradley, The Mists of Avalon, George Orwell, 1984. I don't know. Oh, I love Letters to Vanessa, James Hayward. That's a nonfiction philosophy kind of book that I'm rereading again for the second time. And that's like it's the closest thing I've ever come across that matches kind of my life philosophy. And then I like Black Elk, The Sacred Ways of the Lakota. I thought that was it's really close to my personal philosophies as well. Um, that's all I can think of off the top of my head. I like to read, but normally I read as entertainment, and I just read something once. I just read not too long ago The Worst Hard Time, and Julie, The Legacy of Luna, Julia Butterfly Hill. I like reading nonfiction, like history, a lot. And I can't think of the author's name right now, but I started reading Thunderstruck a while ago, and I never finished it because I left the book when I moved from Milwaukee, so I left it there. And then I got another copy from my friend, so I started reading The Devil in White City. I really like that author's work, and I can't remember his name. I used to read John Grisham books. Like, I read all of them up to a certain point, and then I just didn't have time to read fiction. So, would you rather give up books or movies? Definitely movies, no question. Favorite TV series? New this year, Pan Am. I like Glee. That's probably all I'm really into right now. I caught up on Weeds. I don't know if they're doing any more seasons of Weeds, but I think it's pretty played out. Like the first 4 seasons were really good, and then it just kind of was like, why am I watching this? I'm just addicted to it. I like Big Love. I haven't watched seasons 4, 5, or 6 yet. So I don't know. I guess maybe I'll rent those at some point, but I don't really care. I used to watch The Simpsons. Not as entertaining as it used to be to me. X-Files was one of my favorite TV series. Star Trek. I don't know. Dark Skies. They had 1 season of that. I used to, when we had cable, I used to like to watch the Discovery Health channel and all the like weird medical shows they had on there, and the baby shows, and Mythbusters. But it's not, yeah, really right now the only new shows that I care to watch are Glee and Pan Am. I think everything else is I'm not entertained by it and can't stand to watch a whole episode. This is turning out to be a really long video, and I don't know if I can edit it down, and I'm talking really fast. Would you rather stay in and watch a DVD or go out to see a movie? I guess I'd rather go to a theater for the experience. I haven't watched a movie at home in like almost a year, like sat down and watched a whole movie. I watched a documentary like a couple months ago, The End of Suburbia in America. I think that's what it was called. And I watched like The Good, Bad, and the Ugly like last winter. Went to see Transformers 3 in 3D the 4th of July weekend. I'm not really into movies. Alright, if you were starring in a movie, what genre would it be? I'd say like espionage, and like Viennese steampunk setting would be cool, or like World War II setting would be cool. Which movie, book, TV character is most like you? I don't know. I'm like the child of Anus Nin and Henry Miller, if there was such a character. Because I'm like the female version of Henry Miller. I don't know. Which celebrity would you most like to meet? I would, I don't know, I would like to meet Coleman Hawkins, but he's dead. But I've had like these dreams where Coleman Hawkins is in my dream, and I'm like hanging out at this like jazz club, and he's playing, and then we go out to coffee afterwards or something. So I guess, I don't know, I'd like to have a reality version of that, like when I go to heaven or something. I don't know. Do you have any favorite computer or console games? I think video games are retarded. I haven't played any video games at all whatsoever in like 5 years. Games that I did play in the past that I kind of liked were Gran Turismo 3, Tony Hawk. Last one I played was Soul Calibur. So I guess I like racing games or two-person fighting games, but I really don't. I just think they're stupid and a waste of time. There's so much better stuff you could be doing, like watching this YouTube video, or, I don't know, cooking, gardening, I don't know, sewing. Stupid. Favorite music genre? If I only had to pick one for in perpetuity, forever and ever, I guess I would pick soul. Yeah. I pretty much like everything except popular country and opera, so and I don't really like death metal, but otherwise it's good. Which band or singer did you love as a kid or teen? I was really into Live. That was my favorite band, and Smashing Pumpkins and the Cranberries in high school. Little kid, I don't know. I liked oldies. So I liked the Hollies and the Supremes. I don't know. Why did you join the YouTube community? Well, I guess I got into people that were doing beauty blogs because there was a wig out party in Milwaukee, and I didn't have a wig, and I wanted to do my hair in victory rolls, and so I started watching some hair tutorials on how to do victory rolls, because I kind of had an idea, but I wanted to see like the step-by-step, and I have thin hair, so yeah, lots of hairspray and bobby pins. And then just like some of the people's personalities were really great, like Mischievous, and so I subscribed to Mischievous and Purse Buzz because of the hair tutorials. And then through that I found some more people who I just thought had really great personalities. And then I started posting my own videos because friends were asking me, like, oh, you made this song, and it just seemed like that YouTube was the easiest way to share the file, because I guess there's some FTP sites, but YouTube was just easier, and then other people can hear it and rip it off or use it. I don't really care because they're pretty crappy. And then I started doing the other videos just because I enjoy it and it's fun. And I don't really, care if anyone watches it. It's great if it helps people out or entertains people. And I initially got on YouTube because for music, there were all these like great early videos with Charlie Parker and Nat King Cole or Coleman Hawkins, and it was just like a dream come true. When I was younger, I could have never possibly imagined that I could entertain myself for hours watching like lost video clips of jazz artists. So I guess that's how I got on YouTube initially, like in 2006 or something, and it just snowballed from there. So YouTube may come to replace LiveJournal, etc., on the social networking end. I think social networking is something that's constantly evolving, and MySpace was really my favorite, but no one uses that anymore, so its utility you know, if you're there by yourself, it's not really social anymore. So it'll be interesting to see where social networking and social media go. And I think it's gone to a dark place in a way because it's become really commercialized. So I hope that it can be something more positive. Because I don't want some computer algorithm determining for me what it thinks I should watch or interact with. So this is the longest video ever. I'm really sorry.